Hello guys, it's Chris Bailey from the tradingexchange.co.uk, and we're going to do a few instructional videos around charting platforms, MetaTrader 4 and MarketScope. So thank you for choosing the Trading Exchange for your trading education. We're hoping to get you to a point where you're going to be able to start making some real money for yourselves as well now. So let's get started then. Now the video is going to assume that you've already downloaded and installed whatever charting package it is that you want to use, whether it either be MetaTrader or MarketScope. So MetaTrader can be used with most brokers, and you will still have the same functionality to execute trades that you would do on their execution service, but MetaTrader is just an independent charting package that a lot of people who trade foreign exchange and indices, spread betting or otherwise, will be able to use. Okay, so I'm going to start off with MetaTrader. So I'm going to assume that you have already installed that and you've already logged into your trading account and you've got the MetaTrader open in front of you. If you don't have that, pause the video, come back, and we'll carry on. So I've got a blank MetaTrader open in front of me here. It's one of my trading accounts, and there's nothing in front of me at all at the moment. I'm logged in, but you can't see anything. So what we need to actually do is view the areas that we need to start getting the charts from. So at the top on the left, you'll have some drop-down menus, and the first one is View. We're going to look at that. If you cannot see these toolbars that I'm circling at the moment, we'll go and get those open for you now by clicking View, Toolbars, and then click all four of these. You'll have to do them individually probably. But if you don't see ticks next to those names, then you'll need to go and make sure that you do see them. Okay, next thing we're going to need to do is going to need to see all the different markets that we can use and pull some charts from. So to do that, View, Market Watch, or Control and M. And that's your market window. Now you might not see many markets on there. If, for example, you don't see any or it's empty, if you right click on the window, you can just put Show All, and it will bring everything up for you. Okay, so you've got all these different Forex pairs down here. You've got the dollar index, you've got some commodities and indices as well. Whatever it is that your broker is allowing you to trade. Apparently US oil is dropped to 0. It's a bit of a worry, and the dollar is worthless. So we'll probably ignore most of those for the moment and assume that there's they've just not updated. Excuse me. Okay, so let's just, for argument's sake, take one of these markets here. Let's take the German DAX. Okay, what I've just done here is I've clicked and dragged the German DAX into this blank area here, the chart screen here. And what we can do with that, if you just take this one, you can move it around wherever you want. You can position the window wherever you want by the normal way you would position any window on your computer. And I'm just going to take one chart. Let's just say this one here. I'm going to press the maximize window button there. That will make it full size in the screen. And the kind of layout for the MetaTrader platform is like this, with the grids in the background, with the kind of, I don't even know what kind of candlesticks you would call those. Excuse me, but with this type of candlestick layout. And what we're going to do is we're just going to right click on the chart, go to Properties. And if you need to change the background in any way, this is the place that you would do that. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to go with a color scheme, black on white, and press OK. It's my personal preference. It's just what I like. What I also tend to do is to have my chart showing me a particular type of candle pattern. And up here in this little area, you've got a choice. You've got bar charts, which is what we can see now, candlesticks, which is what I like to use, or line charts, which is the alternative. So I go to candlesticks. It's the open, high, low, close Japanese candlestick charts, most common that pretty much all traders will be using for their analysis. So that's kind of it. When you see the black candle, it's bearish. When you see the white candle, it's bullish. And bottom axis is your date and your time, and the top axis or the side axis is the price. So what you can do with these particular charts is you can change the time frame that you're looking at. So each one of these candles at the moment is an hour, so it's an hourly chart, and you've got a time frame box at here, which you'll be able to look at. So H1 is hour 1 hour. M1, M5, M15, M30 are minutes, and H4 is 4 hours. D1 daily, week 1 is W1, and MN is monthly. So each candle will be a month. Okay. So for today's video, let's just take a look at a 5-minute chart, just nice and simple. And I'm going to just show you a couple of tools that you can use for accessing on your chart. So the most common tools that people are going to use, studies that people will use for their technical analysis, would be lines. So trend lines, support and resistance lines, all of that sort of thing. The way you find those will be in this line chart studies toolbox here. You've got the mouse cursor icon, which I always just keep selected, because it just means you can click and move the mouse and chart left and right. You can't really move it up and down, but you can move it left and right. You've got a cursor, which will allow you to go and pinpoint a specific part of the chart, and it will give you data when you click and drag. I'll give you an example. Every time you unclick it, it disappears. You need to reselect it again. So this morning on the DAX, it's the 19th of January today, 2016. This morning on the DAX, we had a gap open, 200 points nearly. In fact, let's find out how many points that was. So it was from around about this area here where we closed, all the way up to that point there where it opened. So we gapped 155 points this morning, and you can see there's a few numbers next to my cursor. The first number is a 5. That's how many periods left or right I'm going, plus or minus. Okay, so here I've gone 39 periods to the right, 39 candles to the right, 39 5-minute candles, or 44 candles left. The number in the middle is the number of pips that it's gone up or down, depending on where you've gone for. So that's 87 pips down, that's 220 pips up, 222 pips up, and so on and so on. And the number on the far right is the actual price of the market. So that is at 97.43. That is at 96.03, and so on and so on. So it just allows you to kind of measure things, if you like, rather than having to rely on your eyes or drawing lines. So that's the cursor tool. You've got a vertical line. Simply for obvious reasons, you can create a vertical line. So if you want to mark a particular point and you need it visually there, and you say, right, well, what's the difference between here and here? Let's say it will allow you to draw those lines. Okay. Each time you draw a line on MetaTrader, you'll have the line highlighted. And if you double click on the line, it will either select or deselect it. If it's selected, you can delete it. If it's not, you can't. What you'll just need to be aware of sometimes is that you can select multiple lines at the same time without realizing they're selected. So you might be drawing quite a few lines. You've left them selected. And let's say you only wanted to delete one, this one in the middle. Because these two are also selected, if you press delete, they'll all go. So you just got to be careful to make sure that when you add your lines on, you don't have them selected if you want to add another one. You just double click on it. Okay. Horizontal lines, same thing. It's for kind of working out support and resistance, maybe, if you want to find out, right, okay, well, today we've managed to get to this kind of high here, 97.36 or whatever, and support is down there. We're currently ranging between this 90-point zone here. I've just decided that I don't want that line at the bottom, but this one is selected, so I'll just unselect that and delete that line. And there we go. So we can say to ourselves, right, if we're trading above this level down here, which was that low here, just as an example, then we're going to continue trading higher. And you can just kind of go off and draw your studies on the chart like that. This line here is a trend line, so you can start it, let's say, here, and say, right, where do I want to go? Right, I want to draw a trend line from that. And it normally automatically rays all the way towards the end. So it doesn't just draw a line the length you want it. It will just ray the line until the end of time. And I'm just going to check to see whether we can change that. So if you double click on the line you've drawn, and then right click on it, go to Trend Properties, you've got this dialog box. You can go to the second column, so the one that says Parameters. If you click off of ray, it should stop you from raying till the end, so you can toggle that on or off depending on what you prefer. There's one really handy feature that they have on MetaTrader as well as others, and you've just spotted I've done something there. Without clicking trendline again, I've drawn a parallel. So what you can do sometimes when you're doing some technical analysis, let's just do a better example here where I can show it clearer. Here we go. I'll just show you what I've done in a second there. So this little area here that I'm drawing with my mouse, this is a downtrend. Yep. So what you can sometimes do, if you, let's say you're here and you can't actually see the following chart here, all you can see at the moment is that. You could say to yourself, right, we're in a downtrend, let's draw a channel. So you would start here and you say, right, it's probably going to start from there to there. What you can then do is press the button Control on your keyboard, bottom left of the keyboard. Click the line while you're still pressing Control. Make sure the line is selected. Press Control on the selected line, then click the line and move it, and it will just draw a parallel in exactly the same ways for you. And what that'll allow you to do is to draw these trends. You can just kind of follow the trend down. So you can have both sides of that channel. In this particular case, not perhaps the best example because we've actually broken outside of that trend channel as it continued to just plummet further down. But you'll spot that it does kind of respect the parallel lines. They are often a good tool to use to kind of get both sides of the channel. So that's how you can do it. So double click the line, press Command, and you can move it. Okay, you've got this line here. You might have that selected on your chart. It says equidistant channel. If you click that, it simply just draws the parallel line for you automatically. And you can move that to wherever you want it moved. And whatever you do with this, it will just automatically move it for you. Okay, let's move that. I don't tend to use that tool particularly often. I normally draw my lines manually. Okay, one of the most commonly used technical studies in trading on charts would be Fibonacci retracement. Now I'm going to do a video specifically on this all on its own, but to find that tool, it's right here. It says Draw Fibonacci Retracement. If you click that, you just need to select 2 points, and that is the high and the low for where you want to work out these retracements. Now, I've just noticed that that's in yellow, which is just horrible. I hate the colour yellow on white. So, if I've just right-clicked on the line that I've drawn for that trend line, you might have to double-click on it. Right-click on it, Fibo Properties. Go to Fibo Levels. And change that style to black. Much easier to read. Double click on the line so it's not selected anymore and you don't delete it by accident. And this will automatically plot you your Fibonacci retracement levels. So you've got your 0 and your 100 and the retracement levels in the middle. You can add different levels in here by changing them in there. So say for example you wanted the, I don't know, I've got the 50, 618, 38.2. They're really the only three I normally tend to use. But there is a 23.6 there for whatever reason. So if you did the other side of the 23.6, you'd be looking at, let's try and do the maths. 76.4. So you would add a level in there. 0.764, which is the 76.4 retracement. And once you've pressed OK on that, it will add that line in for you. So you can add in your own ones if you wish, and you can add in the extensions if it hasn't already done that as well. Okay, so that's the Fibonacci tool. You can draw text. To mark the charts, if you wanted to put a label somewhere, then you can do that. You can draw a text label. And you can even draw arrows. So if you wanted to mark something for a chart that you're going to post, put on social media, put up on, share it with somebody on Skype or anything like that, you could use this. And there's a drop-down menu, a whole various selection of different types of icons that you can add to your chart. Excuse me. So you could say, right, well, I got in here, I sold from that level there, I then bought from there, I then sold from there, I got stopped out there, and you can just go and mark your chart up. If you get bored of all of that, you can delete all your arrows. Okay, so we've actually put a couple of different things on these charts now. We've actually put a label, a text thing here. We've put a Fibonacci tool, a couple of lines, which I'm just going to add there just for the sake of it. And to delete all of these, there's a box that you can, or a command you can pull up that will allow you to select the ones you want to delete. And that's the one. And that is Control and B. Okay, that brings up this objects dialog box. And there are all the different things that we've got on the chart now. So we've got this Fibonacci. We've got a hello everybody label. We've got a hello everybody text box. We've got a horizontal line, a trend line, and a vertical line. You could delete all of them or individual ones by just simply selecting them and deleting them. Okay. So that's some of the basics to kind of get a few tools working for your MetaTrader. Now, a lot of people are going to want to try and customize the way that their MetaTrader looks. They might not like this white on black thing. They might want different color candles. They might not want these grid lines. They might just want it to look differently in some way or another. And it might take 10-15 minutes to actually customize it. And they don't want to do that every time they have to install MetaTrader. So what they do is they'll get a template that they like. Something the way that they like the look of. Let's just say we don't want the grid lines on the background, for example. You go to right click, click properties, and then you can unselect show grid over here. Excuse me. Press OK, and the grid lines are gone. You might want green candles for when you've got a bullish candle, or a red one for bearish. And if you wanted to do that, you would just go back to the right click properties on the chart, brings up this box, go to the colors on the left hand side, and you've got this list on the right of all the different colors. So for example, excuse me. So a bearish candle is currently black. If we change that to orangey red, and a bullish candle is white, let's change that to, I don't know, blue. That's not blue. That's blue. It will make it look a little bit different. You might not like the contrast of those colors. You might want to change a different combination. Whatever it is, it's up to you. But once you've got a template that you're happy with, what you can do is save that template. And if you want to take it to a different platform or go to another computer and use the same template, you can do that. By up here, you've got this tool that says templates. You click on that, click on save template, and then you can save it to whatever you like, and it will appear in this drop down list. Okay. Now there's a couple of things that MetaTrader does which can sometimes be a little bit of a frustration if you're looking to move around on the charts. And the first one is this tool here. Scroll the chart to the end on tick incoming, it says. It's kind of got a little chart with a play button, it looks like. If that's selected, every time the current candle completes, it's going to send you right to the beginning again. So like it just did there. So I've just scrolled all the way to the left a little bit, and it's just throwing me all the way back to the beginning again. And that can be quite annoying if you're trying to scroll around and look for some data, you know, earlier days. So I'm at the 11th of January now, let my finger off the mouse, and it throws me back to the beginning again. So if that's unselected, you can scroll for as long as you like without being affected by anything. But as soon as you press that, you'll come back to the beginning. Okay. And the other tool that people will use, MetaTrader, is the one to the right of that, which just kind of gives you an extra bit of buffer on the right-hand side. Whether it be OCD or aesthetical reasons or whatever it is, some people don't like the most recent candle being right on the far end of this chart. So if you click that, it gives you a little bit of a buffer. And that's it. You can zoom in and out on your chart by using the magnifying glass or the plus and the minus key on your keyboard. Okay. And that is pretty much it as far as the charting tools are concerned. Okay, so for more technical analysis things, what you can do with charts is you can, of course, add indicators. You can add expert advisors and all of these sorts of things. So we're not going to look at expert advisors here today, the automatic trading algorithms. We're just going to look at a few basic indicators. We're going to look at how to apply an RSI, how to apply a moving average, how to apply a stochastics oscillator and a MACD oscillator. They're the four probably most common technical studies that people will put on their charts. Okay, so you need to find the indicators, and there's a number of different ways you can do it. Excuse me. The first option is probably the easiest, and that is to just simply go to the top of the file menu and go to Insert, Indicators, first one down. And you've got a whole list of different ones here. Often what you'll find is your most common ones will appear in this top here. But at the moment it's just in alphabetical order because it's, I guess I haven't applied that many indicators on this particular software. So for this particular example, I'm going to look at the first box here, which is trend. Okay, you've got a whole different list of things you can apply here. So average directional movement index, I don't personally use that. Bollinger Bands, I do use. Envelopes, I don't tend to use. Ichimoku Kinku Hayo, Japanese strategy or indicating piece, was really useful, this one for me, but I don't tend to use it that often anymore. Moving average, essential. Parabolic, support and resistance, and standard deviation. There's a whole list of things there, but for now, the only one we're going to look at is moving average, and it's really simple. Moving average just plots in representation of a line what the kind of rolling average of price action has been for a particular number of periods, and you can choose the number of periods yourself. That's the period. So you, for example, if you wanted to take an average of, like, let's say the last hour. Now we're on a 5-minute chart at the moment, so how many candles would there be within an hour? That'd be 12 5-minute chart, 12 5-minute candles. So we're going to do a period of 12. And for this simple case, I mean, a simple moving average is quite common, but you'll often find exponential as being the probably more commonly used. To give a basic explanation, I guess a simple moving average is what it is. It's just a simple moving average. It's just an average over 12 periods. An exponential moving average applies a higher weighting for the most recent candles. So it just puts more importance, I guess, on the most recent candle movement than it does, say, one that was like 10 or 11 candles ago. So I'm just going to use exponential. Apply to the close just means the close of a candle, rather than like it constantly moving every time when a candle is still open. And of course the color you can choose. It's whatever you want. Thickness of the line, how the line looks, is all there. Don't worry too much about levels. Don't worry too much about visualization. Just press OK. So there you have it. I'm just going to zoom in, press the plus, and that's showing us a sort of a moving average for the last hour's worth of candles, and it would be a rolling moving average that plots all over the chart. You can apply more than one moving average. Just do the same thing again. Maybe this time I want, I don't know, you can pick any number, pick 30. You might choose your own options. You can have whatever you like. There's all different types of moving average strategies. We'll take a look at some in another video. So come and have a look at that. But this is just showing you how to apply the indicators on your chart. Okay. Let's say you've gone ahead and you've added all kinds of indicators, and you don't want one anymore. So I'm just going to add one that's like, I don't know, 40. Put whatever color. There it is. And you think, right, I don't want that one anymore. So you need to find a dialog box that shows you where all your indicators are. And to get that, you just press Control and I, and it will show you them here. It doesn't tell you which one that one is, so you might have to look inside it by clicking Edit and think, well, it's not that one. It's not that one. It's that one. So you click it, delete it, and it's gone. Once you press the close, it will have disappeared. So Control and I brings that up. Normally the one at the bottom is the one that was added the most recently. The one at the top was the one that you first added. Excuse me. So there you have it. Okay, what I've just noticed here is that this chart is very compressed. So all these candles here are really, really kind of narrow. There's loads of space up here, loads of space down there. How do you widen that out? A couple of ways you can do it. You can either click and drag the vertical axis, or what I like to do is to just double click the vertical axis and it will do it, and then resize it based on what you want. Works the same on the horizontal axis as well if you want to zoom out and in. Okay. Alright, so that's moving average. Let's just delete both of those. So Control and I, delete, delete, gone. Let's go and add an RSI. So insert, indicators. RSI is an oscillator. So is MACD. So is Stochastics. So they're all going to fall under that. And you've got a whole list of other ones here as well that you might want to go and explore and have a look at. I don't tend to use that many of them personally, but I know that a lot of people do. Okay, so relative strength index, there we go. That's your options. Again, the only really things you need to change would be the periods for the RSI and the levels that you want to mark out for the oversold and overbought. So on this one, 14 period is a standard one that people go for, so I'll just keep that the same. And on the levels, let's just go for something different. Let's go for an 80 and a 20 as opposed to a 70 and a 30. Press OK. And there you have it. Now, if like me, you've chosen a white background, then the silver lines don't really actually work very well. So to get back to the settings on RSI, you right-click in the window, click Properties. No, you don't. You right-click on that. Should we start that again? You Control and I, same as you did before with the moving average, and then you double-click on Relative Strength Index. That'll bring up the same box as before, and I might just want to make the silver style black, just so you can see the lines. Okay, so this video is not going to go into specifically what RSI is about and strategies to trade it and how to use it on your charts properly. It's just for installing it, and that's it. Okay, and so let's go and delete that. Control and I, and then delete. And we'll go and add MACD and Stochastics. Back to oscillators. Stochastic is here, so you've got your K period, your D period, and you've got your slowing there. There's all different kinds of stochastic settings. I don't personally use stochastic oscillator at all, so I don't really have much of a preference on here. For those who do use it, that should give you everything you need. You can choose your levels again, choose the style and the color of the levels, and the colors of the lines in the signal line. Once you press OK, it will get loaded up down here. If you need to amend that, Control and I does the same thing as it did before. Okay, and MACD, indicators, oscillators, MACD. Moving average convergence divergence. That stands for. And you choose a fast EMA and a slow EMA, and the MACD SMA, which is the simple moving average. EMA is exponential moving average. And there's your histogram and the average lines. Okay. So what about if you put a trade on? How do you find out where all your trades are? In fact, how do you even put a trade on? So there's a couple of ways you can do that. Let's just say right now, just for argument's sake, we want to go long on the German DAX, just because it's about to break out of this here. It looks like it's got some bullish momentum, and we say, right, we want to buy. What I do is I press F9. It loads up an order screen. Now, just for the sake of this example, because this is a real account and I don't really want to do this, but I'm just putting it on for the sake of the video. We just press F9. In this particular case, the minimum volume that you can do on a real account for the German DAX with FXCM is 1. It's a 1K lot. Not 0.01, but just 1, which is the same amount. And we're going to say, right, we want to buy. So there we go. So I press OK. We're now long. That's it. Trade's been opened. We've gone long on the German DAX. And let's just hope it doesn't drop 500 points. Otherwise, I'm going to lose money. And but where is that trade? The only way you can visually see it is because it says here, buy, and it's bought. So what we need to do is we need to bring up what's called the terminal window, which will show us all of the information that we need on our trades. And depending on what settings you've selected, which I'll help you with in a moment, you can trade straight out of this dialog box. So go to View, go to Terminal, click that, and it will bring it up down here. So you can see a number of different things. First of all, you've got your order number. You've got the time and the date that the trade was activated, what type of trade it was, what the size of the trade was, the market that it was traded, the price you got in, what your stop loss is if you selected one, what your take profit target is if you selected one, the price that the current market is at right now, so we're down 5 or 6 points, how much commission you paid on the trade, and whether there's any kind of overnight roll charges because you kept the trade going overnight. Not always a good idea on the DAX because it does have some pretty big gaps. Excuse me. So perhaps going long at the moment was not brilliant, but you know, we're looking on a 5-minute chart here, so it's not the end of the world that we're down a few points. So when we opened that trade by pressing F9, we entered just a simple one with no stop loss and no take profit target. Didn't add any comment on or anything like that. You can add your stop loss in here, and it would simply apply it there. So when it reaches those levels, if you leave it automatically, it will close or otherwise the trade. Okay. You can amend the trade that you've got on by right-clicking it, and it will bring up a modify order box. And you could say to yourself, right, well, I want to go with a 50-point stop loss, and I want a 75-point take profit target. You click these 2 red boxes, and it will adjust the stop loss and take profit targets, and then you can modify the order there if you wanted to. And there you go. So you now put a risk level on your trade. Now, I'd always recommend you do that. Never, if you can help it, enter into a trade that doesn't have a take profit target or a stop loss, because you're just asking to get into trouble if it goes against you, and believe me, it really can go against you quite quickly on these. So and again, I mean, just for argument's sake, if you went and entered another trade and you put those levels in there now, so you know, my stop loss is going to be not that 9675, and my take profit is 9,800, and you press buy again, it would enter a second trade. Okay, don't worry, these are real trades. This is just for argument, just showing you what's happening. Okay, so to close out of a trade, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can right click on that and you can put close order, and it will probably give you an option. Nope, it doesn't. It just closes it straight away. Fair enough. If it does give you an option, it might say, do you sure you want to close this? You can just say yes, or it will give you an option. And the other way to do that, which is what I have selected, is by pressing the X next to the trade on the right hand side. Now, if you haven't automatically done this before, it will come up with an option saying, are you sure you want to activate one-click trading? Because the risk is you might accidentally click it by accident one day when you're on a big loss, and it's going to realize that loss for you. Or you might get out of a trade that's winning for loads of money that you think, oh, this is going to earn me millions, I'm just going to leave it running for a week, and you get out by accident. So it has a warning that you can close trades pretty quickly if you do it by mistake. But if you activate that, you need to click the box, say, yeah, I understand, that's fine. And then you can just simply get out of your trade by clicking that X. And in periods of high volatility, that's a really useful tool, because it means you don't have to flap and mess around getting out of your trade. So that's how to do it. Now, on the bottom, you've also got a few other things as well. On this terminal window, you can see it tells you all of your account statistics. But there's a whole list of other things as well. So if you're going to be using expert advisors, you can see the experts column down there to see whether there are any errors or problems or bugs in your code. And there's all kinds of other signal things that you can follow down here. Your account history is probably the one that you'll use the most. That'll just simply show you the trades that you've made. I won't specifically scroll down, you don't need to see mine, but it will just give you an idea of how it all looks. Okay. The last thing I'll show for MetaTrader would be the indicators window. So we've just added a few indicators by clicking on Insert. The other way you can do that is to press Control and N, and that'll bring up this navigator box, which you can move and resize to fit within your chart however you want to look. And on the left hand side, it will show you the accounts that you have. It will show you indicators, and it will show you expert advisors as well as scripts. Expert advisors will ignore, but indicators is the one. You'll have a whole list of indicators as standard on your normal MetaTrader platform anyway. They come automatically. And let's just say, for example, you wanted to, again, add, I don't know, a moving average. It was under trend, that one. So you click on the plus next to trend, click on moving average, and you can either double click that or click and drag onto the chart, and it will allow you to apply it straight away. Really quick and effective way of getting it in. Now with MetaTrader, you can set up various indicators that are customized, and you can buy them online. You can buy them from our website, www.thetradingexchange.co.uk. We have a number of different softwares, indicators, expert advisors that you can purchase to use on your MetaTrader. And they might have options in there which will send you emails or alerts or notifications when signals come out or if trades are put on. But you'll need to find the settings to kind of change a few things in your MetaTrader, and the way you do that is to click on Tools and then Options, and you'll find a few things in there. So that's kind of it. That helps get everything all set up for you. You can have as many charts as you like from this panel open. And before I finish off, I'll just show you one last trick, which is to have a couple of charts tiled across your window. Let's say you want to look at the German DAX, but you also want to look at the S&P 500, you want to look at the Euro USD and the dollar yen, and you want all four charts all open. So I'm going to minimize, well, not minimize this window, but make this window a little bit smaller by clicking the Restore Down button. Now I'm going to save that template for the sake of this video as video test. I'm going to go to this chart which I pulled open earlier on, which actually doesn't help me because it's not the Euro USD. Let's go and find the Euro USD. There it is. So I'm going to click, drag that onto that one. can change that template to video test. You can also right click the chart, go to template, and go to whatever you've called it, video test for me. I'm on a 1 hour chart at the moment, so let's change that to 5 minutes, just for the sake of the video. What was the other one? I wanted dollar yen. Okay, I can't do that. It doesn't exist at the moment. So let's go with the cable, pound dollar. Again, let's move that to the 5 minute chart. You can also change the time frame there. And we're going to change the template. And let's just go with one of the market. What do we say? S&P? Doesn't exist. Don't know why that's like that. So let's go with the Euro stocks. Euro stocks 50. It doesn't really matter what market you've just chosen. Change it to 5 minutes. Change it to video test. Okay, so we've got all 4 charts here, but you can't really see them like next to each other like that. So it's a bit annoying. So if you press Alt next to the space bar, ALT. So Alt and R, the letter R, it will tile it for you. The most recent window you clicked on is the one that will appear at the top left. And it generally tends to order them. And there you have it. So that gives you an idea of all the different ways that you can navigate yourself around the MetaTrader. Install a couple of indicators on the charts, get the charts looking slightly differently, save some templates, and start trading on the screens. I hope that's helped you with your trading. Look forward to hearing from you in the forum and also in the chats. And we look forward to trying to help you improve your trading style so we can get you a decent way of earning an additional income from your trading. Take care, guys. I'll be back with another video and we'll be looking at the FXCM's market scope.